Tiger Anime. Gao Gao Nippon Part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
I had to do it. I had to.
Yeah.
So once again, this is part 2 of the Tiger Anime specials. Once again, if you're just joining us, my name is Arash.
I'm Jay.
And you're listening to Tiger Anime, sinking your teeth into everything that is anime and manga. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
So if this is your first time joining us, well, I don't say why are you listening to part 2 of our special. And once again, if you're still this is your first time, our specials are going to be a little different. They're going to be a little more off topic. They're not going to be set with a complete docket and whatnot, because usually these are going to be stuff such as Jay coming back from Japan or very other just discussions that we eventually will have, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. And then I'm also, this should be the last episode.
Should be.
I don't want to record another one. Because I want to get back to the normal
stuff.
show.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But this is always a fun thing, because you actually, for huge, big, dumb nerds like us, this is a big thing for us.
Yeah. So, yeah. And
so I'm going to say, skip everything else in the beginning we usually do.
Yeah.
Because this is part 2, which means you've obviously already listened to our 2-hour episode of part 1.
It was a 1.5 hours.
No, it's 1 hour and 55 minutes according to the thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I still haven't finished.
Oh. That was a long episode.
Yeah, it was. All right, so we'll just go straight on into it and have Jay continue on with his week.
So in the last episode we left off with getting back from Mount Nokogiri and that fun thing. Let me lower my mic. There we go. The next day, just as Thursday, we went to the Meiji Shrine, which is located in Harajuku.
Mm-hmm.
So the Meiji Shrine is dedicated to the Meiji Emperor, the guy who really started the westernization of Japan. And this is one of the first times where the emperor actually has power. They modeled their government after ours, except that they put the emperor at the top and then everything else below it, and everything can be dictated by the emperor and stuff like that. And but also a lot of the power went to the military as well, and not the Senate, which had a very little, if I'm remembering how it was set up correctly. But anyways, so this is the shrine that is dedicated to him. It was built in the 30s. Because he lived in like the late 1800s, is when he was when he was an emperor. So it's a very pretty place, because like it's kind of weird, because it's right in the middle of Tokyo, and it's the only truly wooded area I saw
in Tokyo.
Like no, like you could actually there's the one place where the trees actually blocked off the buildings.
I'm just surprised that there are trees in Tokyo.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit. It's just that there's a single tree here, a single tree there. Oh, more buildings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go through these very, very giant, very, very giant torii gates. And there's several of these gates as you walk down this very long path. And as you're walking down, you hit because every single shrine has I forget what it's called, but basically enshrined sake, blessed sake, just in these big giant barrels stacked up and stuff like that. And also and then at the Meiji Shrine though, there's a very particular type of alcohol that the Meiji Emperor came to really enjoy, which was wine. And so there is blessed and enshrined wine at the temple as well.
Nice.
And there's actually these giant barrels, and they're right on the other side of the path, and the path is actually kind of gigantic. Basically it's like a 4-way highway. Like that. It's really, really wide for some reason. And it's very long. And so then you walk through, you get up to the temple, and you can if you want to, you don't necessarily have to, but we did. It's called the purification ritual. So like in like anime, like when you see like, especially when it comes to like anime that deal with like gods and stuff like that, usually they have like that wooden little like cup at the end of a very long stick.
Yeah.
So that's what you use to do the purification ritual, which is you scoop up some water from the shrine, pour it into your left hand, and then you pour it into your right hand, and then you scoop up some more water, pour it into your left hand, then you put it into your mouth, you swish it around, then you spit not into the reservoir of the water, but into before it. There's a little basin that you spit right into. Then you pour more water into your left hand to clean it again, and then you take the remaining water that's in the cup and you tip it upward and you spin it to get the water to go down the stick to clean the stick, and then you put it back.
Huh.
And that's the purification ritual.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you purify your hands and your mouth before you go into the temple area.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the ritual that you do there. And then there's a few rules to Meiji Shrine. One, you cannot sit on the steps. You will be shooed away by the police that are at there. But this is also where you can buy charms and stuff like that. And where did it go? I had one.
Oh no, you lost your charm.
Yeah, I did lose my charm. Oh no.
Oh no, now you'll be unlucky forever.
Yeah, but I didn't buy it at that shrine, so it's okay. Shit. I have to find that. But no, you can buy like different charms there, and the charms are like, there's one. I got one for success. I also got one for health of body and mind. I got them for my grandparents. And I talked to one of the guys. She's like, "Yeah, it's a very Japanese thing that you just did there." Like, oh,
okay,
okay. Because they're in the process of starting to get rid of things, and so I didn't want to get into something super big. So something small like that would be better for them. And then you also can buy what is it? Those little plaques things. I forget what they're called. I just can never remember the name. Where you write your wish on.
Oh, the right, and you hang it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those. They're 500 yen. So it's
not too bad.
It's a little expensive, but not too bad.
Yeah.
There's markers you can do the right jot stuff down, and you put them up there. I don't know exactly what they do afterwards, but yeah. So but it's a very pretty temple area, and like there's rules like where you can take pictures and where you cannot. You can't take pictures of the shrine itself. One, out of respect of the people praying there, and also like two, they want to just keep it a little bit more sacred.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do that, and they will shoo you away and kick you out of the temple grounds. So yeah, so you don't want to do that. Very bad. But yeah, so like that was like the beginning of it. That was really kind of fun. After that, we headed to Harajuku, which is like a place that has a bunch of shopping centers and stuff like that. And this is like one of the places I cared for the least, because it was the most Western place I'd ever seen in Japan at that point. And like it just kind of was like it was also a really weird place, because you'd be walking down the street and you would see modern Western architecture, French, Eastern European, Western European, and then the West Coast architecture all in a row.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was like all of them were different shops and stuff like that. But however, we did for lunch. We found these. I went with this couple from Minnesota. We were looking for a pancake place. Well, we found a burger place that has the exact same name on it instead. We don't know what happened to the pancake place, but we found a dumpling shop.
Oh.
And so we we ordered some dumplings and stuff like that, and it was really, really good. And so then, but also there's this big giant toy store called Kittyland. And there's tons of random toys there. It's actually where I got the chopsticks I got for you and your wife. Yeah, those were there, and
my wife really loves them, by the way.
Oh, I'm really happy she does.
Yeah.
Because they were super adorable.
She made it very clear which one was hers, and I just got the other one. Okay. I don't remember which one, though.
I don't remember which one. But yeah, so I'm assuming she got the cat bus.
What was the other one you got me?
I forgot.
No, you got the mini Totoro one for me.
Yeah.
That's the one she picked.
Okay.
I got the cat bus.
Oh, okay. I assumed she liked the cat bus one, but no. But anyways, There's also like tons of different toys there. I was surprised they have like this like they had really a dedicated section to just Star Wars.
Of course, they gotta.
They had also some like really expensive figures there too, like $500 figures. It's
Holy
like
crap!
Like they were like super detailed too. I'm like, holy shit! And a bunch of other things there as well. I didn't ended up buying a whole lot. Also, like We Bare Bears was there, and Adventure Time.
Alrighty,
They had
then.
their own dedicated section with a
To-
TV advertising
See,
the show.
I can understand Adventure Time, but
We Bare Bears.
We Bare Bears.
I'm like, I was just looking at it. I'm like, why? Is it popular? I was surprised. There was also an entire section dedicated to Ghibli, of course.
Of course.
Of course there
Yeah.
is. There's also a few other things like and each like it was like everything in Japan, several different stories tall, and every single floor was something different. I got to the top floor. I did not go in because I just saw pinks and pastels everywhere. And I'm like, that is not for me. And I did a 180 and went back down the stairs. So that was that. Okay, the problem is I don't remember what we did in Shibuya. I don't remember what we did there.
That day is an entire blur. Maybe it didn't happen.
No,
Maybe
it
you didn't
happened.
go
We
to
went to
Japan.
Shibuya. I know you can do stuff in Shibuya.
Maybe you didn't go to Japan. Maybe it was just all a figment of your
Let
imagination.
me check my phone for pictures. I was taking pictures of it.
It's all a big blur. Nothing exists, everybody.
Nothing exists.
We
And
don't exist.
So it's like this.
We're just a figment of your
just like
imagination.
this part of the podcast will
Yeah.
never exist.
We're just a figment of your imagination.
Ooh.
You have no friends. Your waifu isn't real.
You will die alone.
You die alone. You're a disappointment to your parents.
Everything you accomplish will never matter.
I'm sad now.
I regret nothing.
I regret everything and
Oh,
nothing.
okay. So now I remember.
All right.
So I had to a little bit to remember what Shibuya was. So Shibuya, there's it's like as it notes here. There's like high fashion food. Hachiko. I don't know what Hachiko is. And it says, and fun. But so the place I went here, the reason why I don't really remember it, because it's where I went to Mandarake, which is the largest secondhand goods store in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And by largest, I mean like you go to a just different spot, like where they basically took over an entire building.
Oh wow.
Like it's freaking nuts. It's huge. But this is where you can get secondhand good, like really rare figures. If you look behind you, the not the Senjukahara, but the Hanikawa figure I had, I didn't know that it existed
Oh.
until I went to there and actually
Oh.
found it, and that was about 5,000 yen.
So you would recommend if you want figures, probably go there.
Yeah, but not the one in Shibuya.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can go to the one in Shibuya. I was looking for box sets. I found the Fate Zero one, but I didn't want to get it because I already have it, the English version.
Yeah.
But there's a few other random things that you can get there that are like really weird. You can get like you can also buy dojins, other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of Sentai stuff was there as well. But yeah, so that was really really fun. I then didn't end up purchasing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, we all got together because we were there for like an hour or an hour and a half, just like. And what was also kind of funny about it, it wasn't like it was up; it was actually down.
Oh.
We had to go through these colored corridor that had just tons of random things on it.
What?
Yeah, like that was the entryway of like how we went down, and it felt like we were like going down into like an abyss of like where we were going to be jumped. And so yeah, it was a really kind of interesting place. Like it was like an actual basement that was turned into a shop.
That sounds super sketchy.
It was incredibly sketchy.
It's like something like a shop out of like Persona.
Yeah, actually, I'm not joking about that. And so that's what it was really fun to see everything there. We then after that we got out of the store and we like went back to our meeting spot and we were like, well, kind of have a long time to wait. And just said to one of the guys, Howard, I'm like, hey. Saw an arcade over there. Do you want to go? Do you want to go to it? He's like, yeah, sure. Kill some time.
Yeah.
End up finding a Megumi plushie from
Ooh.
Konosuba. Explosion.
Yeah.
And like she had the dumbest look on her face and her just giant head, small little body. I'm like, I want that fucking thing. So what was this one in particular, unlike the other ones where like they have 2 bars and then like the thing on it. This one was a single bar that came out. They had a rubber end on it, and then the plushie was hanging on the edge of it from a plastic thing that had a loop on it. And the idea is that you hit the corners of the loop to wiggle it off.
Oh God.
But the thing is, though, it's super doable. And like it took me a little while to learn how to do it, but after a while, like it was like I was actually working at it. The problem was I ran out of time.
Oh no.
And I almost got it. But what was funny though is that there was a group of people, like it's a group of I'm assuming high school students because that's what their age looked like.
Yeah.
Right on the machine next to me, but I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to what I was doing. And spending tons of money trying to get this stupid fucking thing. And so like I'm starting to knock it down, and I'm starting to notice that here like people like making noises to what I'm doing and to what's happening to the plushie that I'm actually working on. and like Howard's like, hey, you got a crowd for me, and I'm like, oh, it's just probably the people there. They'll leave. I then put in my last coin. I hit it. The dang thing should have fallen.
Ah.
And this Japanese schoolgirl comes up, points at it, because I had this like kind of this angry look, goes, lies!
Oh my God.
And so I just point at it and go, bullshit. and her and her friend just burst out laughing. I grab my bag and I go, I'm so angry.
You didn't get their number?
I left.
I don't care. You didn't get their number?
They're high schoolers.
I don't care. You didn't.
I'm 25!
They're probably almost adults.
I'm 25, right? Yes, I am 25 years old.
There's just something about Japan, and Japanese women just tend to surround you, it feels like. You need to go to Japan. You'll find your wife there.
That was a running joke. But after that, we headed back to our hotel to not drop our stuff up, but to hop onto a shuttle to go to what's called the Yakataban dinner, which is like basically a Yakataban is a longboat.
Yeah.
And that's where we had our dinner that night, and this was actually $100 to do extra.
Oh wow!
But it was included in part of the full package tour. Everyone went on it so when we got onto it, like it's a really fancy dinner. You know, like how like in some anime they show like those like long tables that are stacked together and people have to sit on them and you have to put your feet under it. It's one of those. 2 rows of that. Really, really elaborate setups of the food and stuff like that were on there. And the guy and Evan was going through and telling us what each of the things were. On this big giant boat thing was sashimi. If you don't know what sashimi is, take the vinegared rice out of sushi. And so it's just a raw fish.
Okay.
And so they had tuna, scallops, and a few other random fish that I did not ask.
You just tried.
I just ate.
Yeah.
And it was so delicious. It was so incredibly good. Like the tuna was actually it's a really tough meat. And that was amazing. It was so delicious. I recommend it so much. We also had dango.
Ooh.
Which dango is delicious. There's little tiny bits of it, but I wanted more, and so I have to find somewhere I can get it in the States.
Yeah.
I want to eat more of it because it's so delicious. If you don't know what dango is, it's you ever seen Clonad?
Yeah, it's the song at the
end.
end.
Dango, daigo, kazaku.
Yeah.
So it's what it is this rice paste that like you smash rice a bunch of the time and you either fill it up with you either fill it up with like different pastes or stuff like that, or you fry or you grill it. And ours was just the mashed up without any like paste inside of it because it was so tiny, but it was really good. There's a few other things that I tried I didn't know what they were.
You probably still don't.
But I still don't. But the highlight of it was that there was bottomless drinks. And a few of us decided to see how bottomless that was. So after me and Howard went through 5 liters of beer,
Jeez.
and I drank 1 cup of cold sake, 2 cups of hot sake. The 3rd cup of sake I wanted it cold, but she brought it hot because someone else brought it out. I'm like, whatever. Yeah. I drank that, and this is where my memory becomes super fuzzy. I actually don't truly remember the order of events that happened. I remember singing really loudly to the karaoke of the opening song for Evangelion. I remember like yelling really, really loudly, "Boobs!" for some reason. Like we got really rowdy. Like my table,
my gosh,
table like we all like were super drunk, and we ended up. And one of the things we did, and so like, but I don't know how this happened, but somehow all of us started, like, a bunch of the guys started linking arms, and we started singing "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Oh my god!
and what was funny is that like we only knew the chorus, and so like for like the rest of the stuff we had to kind of turn towards the TV to see the words. So that was fun, and then we also had to. And so also the History Maker, the opening song for Yuri and Ice went on. All the girls were singing it, then I just started blurring out singing it because I was a huge fan of that. And so then at one point, we have to get off the boat, and this is where I really start to lose my memory.
Oh god!
I have pictures on my phone that I don't remember taking. I saw a picture where I'm in it. I don't remember that picture being taken. And also, we were told to get off the boat. I remember grabbing my things, and then I'm off the boat. I don't remember actually getting off the boat.
You just remember grabbing your things, next thing you know, you're off the boat.
The next thing I know, I'm off the boat waiting for a shuttle.
Yeah.
And talking to people, I think I took a few pictures, and then the next thing I know, I'm walking in my hotel hallway. I don't know how I made it there. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. And I'm waking in my bedroom, like, did I write something to myself? And so I found a note that the drunk me had left poorly written to myself. I apparently thought I was writing it really well, but I could barely read it. It was like something like "ha ha ha, fuck you." I had written to myself. I showed other people. I took a picture of it and threw it away. And I showed them like, here's what I wrote to myself. And so then, that was a super fun night. And then the next day, I talked to people about going to this place called the Samurai Museum, in Shinjuku, and so I ended up. But I somehow remember that people reminded me about that.
Yeah.
And then we got together, and then because this is our free day, so we could do whatever we wanted. And so we went to Shinjuku, which isn't too far of a trade line. And at this point, we actually had JR passes. And these passes are actually insanely expensive. They're about $500.
Oh wow!
But they allow you to hop on any of the JR or Japanese rail trains. You can go anywhere in Japan with it. And so what we did is, we used that to get to Shinjuku, and then at this point we went to the Samurai Museum, which we have to walk past the red light district.
Ooh.
In the middle of the morning where no one's out there for it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because you could tell it was the red light district. There's tons of weird things. There was a monkey, a big ape hanging from a building that had American flag underwear on it for some reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Are we in this? And also like, there's the Robot Cafe, which is like basically a giant light show. So you have to be, if you are there at night, you have to be careful because people will drag you in and hand you drinks and make you pay for it.
Nice.
So and they're insanely expensive, and and you can be swindled out of your money. And so you have to be super careful when you're in that area at night. And apparently someone on a different trip actually had something bad happen to them because they weren't paying attention in that area.
Oh God.
Yeah. But anyway, so we went to there. We actually got there to the place a little too early, so we had like 30 minutes to kill. So we just started walking around Shinjuku, and you know how in anime they accidentally end up in an area with a ton of love hotels. We accidentally ended up in an area with a ton of love hotels. It actually happens. If you're not paying attention and you're just talking, you're there. There's also like tons of host bars and stuff like that. And we were walking past one of them and had an advertisement for it. Was one for girls, so it was a bunch of guys. So it was like hot guy, hot guy, hot guy, hot guy, hot guy dressed up as Char from Gundam. Yeah, like that was really random. I got a picture of that. I'll just show you it later. So that was kind of fun to kill 30 minutes, and you guys should see the rates of everything. It's actually really cheap. If you wanted to spend a single night, you could actually find one for like about 6,000.
Yeah,
which is under $60.
Yeah,
so, like spend a night in a love hotel if you just want something cheap and you can't find an actual hotel. It's completely doable that way. So then we finally got into the Samurai Museum, and thank God this was a big thing for tourists because all the guides spoke English, and so the guide who was with us was telling us about they had like actual like really old armor sets from the era of the samurai, and she was telling us about all these different things. They actually recreated a samurai armor piece that people could wear.
Oh,
just a head. Because it takes 20 minutes to put on the armor.
Oh God.
Yeah. If you actually did it. And she said, like, yeah, this is a recreation, but it still has value because it took 60 people, like, 6 months to make it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, like, it still has an incredible amount of value, even if it's a recreation. And so, yeah, they also had, like, recreated armor pieces. I think they had one of them was original, but two of them were recreations of, like, really important generals, like, they make, Nobunaga's armor. They had a replica of that, and he was actually really short. It was actually kind of surprising how short he was. But there's also a few, but yeah, so that was super, super fun. I actually had to leave because due to the hangover and the incense that they were burning inside it, and also because it was incredibly tight and contained, I started to get
kind of claustrophobic. Yeah,
and so like things started like. It felt like I was like constantly moving. And this was a constant problem I had throughout the entire trip. It felt like I was on a train the whole time. Like even though I wasn't, like just standing there, I could feel myself like kind of wobbling, and it just got too much. Like I actually had to step out and get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Like so that sucked. But then after that, we headed over to the Square Enix building.
Whoa.
And so which is a very weird looking building, which you cannot go inside. But right next to it is one of the Eorzea cafes that's always dedicated to. I think this one's called Eternia. It's always Final Fantasy themed, and you can buy pins there that are specific class pins. So I bought a Bard class pin there, and a bunch of people bought a few other things. But they also have a crystal fountain. That has like the high end figures in there and like super expensive like necklaces and stuff, and they had a bunch of like figures set up for Final Fantasy 15 as well as they also had a few Kingdom Hearts keychains and stuff like that there. They also had a Final Fantasy 10 figure set up for some reason. I think it's because of the remake that they did.
Yeah,
the HD remaster that they did, and they hadn't changed it over yet, or I don't know. It was like Final Fantasy 10, I guess. But yeah, so there's also like people like. So there was someone dressed up as Cloud. There was someone dressed up as Poplio.
That's so awesome.
That was super cool. And so then after that, a few of the guys headed off to. They went north. They took a 4-hour trip north, to a temple that was on a mountain, and I did not go with them because I did not want to dedicate that much time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, but. They got to the temple, it was closed, and a blizzard happened.
No.
I'm not kidding. So there's pictures of them just covered in snow. And
oh my god.
It's actually super cool. But we went back to Akihabara. And we went to the Square Enix cafe there. And the Square Enix cafe there was decked out in Nier Automata stuff. And then the next week it was Stormblood.
Huh.
So we went there. I got a pachinko stuff for Nier automata, and it's like I took a bunch of pictures. It was really cool. It was really cool. We couldn't actually eat there,
Yeah.
but we could shop there, which was actually which was fun still.
Mhm.
And then after that, me and another guy were like, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know. Do you want to go to the arcade and play Street Fighter? Yeah, let's do that. So we went to one of the Sega arcades, and we went to the top floor, which is where the Street Fighter cabinets were.
Mhm.
And so we just put in, it was 100 yen to play.
Oh, wow.
And it just automatically puts you into, like, you know, those, like a versus mode where you get to, like, randomly play computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're playing for that for about, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Then a guy kind of puts us in, and it, like, automatically generates player matches.
Oh, no.
So then we got put in with a guy who was really good.
Oh.
No, actually, to be fair, he was actually not that great.
Yeah.
He was just better than me. He kicked my ass so hard. I was hearing from someone else that, like, someone, like, they actually got into someone who they could not touch.
Mhm.
And they got perfectly they got, like, they couldn't even touch him. They were just constantly, like, stun locked, and the guy was really good. This one, guy was actually kind of able to, like, get him on half health one time. That was kind of fun. But, like, after I got beat, he got beat, then I got beat again. And then, like, I was kind of like, I think he's telling us something, that we should leave. So we got pounded into the dirt super hard, and so then after that, I'm like, okay, like, how about we actually hit some of the crane games and see if we can win anything. He's like, oh yeah, but I don't know how to use them. I'm like, don't worry, I'll show you how.
Yeah.
So we get to one of the floors, not the bottom floor, but one of the, I think it was like the third floor.
Mm-hmm.
This one had a bunch of Monogatari figures in it, as well as ReZero stuff, and a few Love Live things as well. And so we went to that, and so I'm like, okay, so I found one figure, it's right behind you, that was kind of like someone had spent quite a bit of time trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so you don't want to pick it up, you want to actually have the crane hit it.
Yeah.
To actually move it around and stuff like that so you want to, like, kind of turn it sideways and then lift it up and get it and tilt it, which is very difficult to do if you don't know exactly what you're doing, and it takes a bit of trying to get used to it. So I kind of just went up to, like, so you kind of want to hit it right there, and then maybe it'll come. I'm expecting it to kind of, like, wobble a bit and sit down. So I put in a 500 yen coin, which gives me 4 tries.
Yeah,
because it was 200 yen a try for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hit the button once, hit the button again. Crane goes down, hits it, pulls it up, boom, 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 get it. And so I won it, and I'm like, I just told him, like, that doesn't happen. So we spent the, like, next 30 minutes trying to get it. One of the employees came over, and he actually spoke enough English that we could communicate. So he ended up taking the tries the amount of tries I had left over, and moved them over to a different machine.
Oh, okay.
So I actually was able to use them to try to get another one, which I didn't get. Tried a few other ones. There's these plushies that they made for ReZero, and Konosuba. They're like the big giant head and small little body. They're super adorable. They're a pain in the ass to get in these crane games. If you're gonna be in Japan, do the ones that are hanging to get those plushies, because they're way easier to get them. Because the head is super heavy, so it's super top heavy, and the way they put it in makes it super difficult to actually, like, move it. So yeah, so that's what I did for that day, and then I just kind of headed back on the train myself, because I wanted to go back to the hotel and just kind of rest, because I was really tired and my feet were hurting. I don't know if I went out that night or not, but that was kind of our last night that we could actually, like, do some really weird, cool stuff like that. However, the next day was Anime Japan.
Yay.
So if you've ever seen anime in Maid Dragon where they had Comic at, it's at the same place, the Tokyo Big Site. So I have pictures of the Tokyo Big Site. We have to get into the longest line in the world. And the way they have it set up would never work in America, where they have, like, basically 2 cones of a rope, and then the next 2 cones don't have a rope. American people just cut right in.
Yep.
No, people stayed in the giant line that they were in. Like, and so we were spent like an hour and a half just in this line trying to get in, because, like, so many people go to this thing. Like, I think it's like over 150,000 people show up to it. Yeah, like it's and this is actually the third day of it,
Mm-hmm.
but the first day that was open up to the public because it's Anime Japan's more of a trade show than
Mhm.
anything, so it's not really meant for people to buy stuff. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of cosplayers. However, they are there's no dealer's room or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very, very different type of show. There's a lot of like, but it's still super, super cool. I went and saw the Bones Studio booth, which you were allowed to take pictures in. Thank
Mhm.
God they have actual keyframes of like the different animations from different of their shows. There was a bunch of stuff from Mob Psycho. They had the keyframes, and I think some of the layouts from Sword of the Stranger. They had a bunch of stuff from My Hero Academia out there. And like they also had ads for the Eureka 7 movies and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then as you walk through it, there's like they're blasting music and stuff like that. They have actual like anime showing on some of the stuff. Giant ads for new stuff coming out this year. My favorite one was the Ancient Magus' Bride.
Mhm.
One, I'm a fan of the manga, but two, they recreated the library, right there. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think they had there was people. They had a little stand up of like when you can meet the two main characters and stuff like that. And so I'm assuming it's like people in cosplay, because there were cosplayers there that were being paid to stand by certain booths and stuff like that. And so they were, but they also had a life size statue of one of the characters, which I was able to get a few pictures of. They then like, but the thing was, there was also tons of people like handing out free things, like these big giant bags that people have, like you see in anime.
Yeah,
those are free. They just hand them out to you. But I didn't get any because I didn't want to lug that around and bring it home. So we did get a bunch of like free things, which I have to find. I don't remember where they are. I think they're in that bin or whatever. But I've got some stuff for like Iron Blooded Orphans, bunch of like other random things. I got some free stuff for the Ancient Magus' Bride that some girls dressed up very cutely were handing out. But I was like a kid in the candy store. Like the production IG booth had tons of stuff for Ghost in a Shell. But it was loud, there's stuff playing. That was one section.
Oh, wow.
So this is like, so basically like, you know how like darn it! Like, I'm trying to think of a comparison because it's not like Anime Detour, but you know, like Anime Detour has like the dealer's room is like like two different sections.
Yeah,
like, one is more candy, and one that's more like figures and stuff like that. So yeah, like, that's big. So imagine, no, actually, here's this. Imagine the entire like the reception lobby hallway, like where it's like basically like where all the rooms are, like look out into, and all the like where they have like the sitting area and then the pool. And
yeah.
Like that. Imagine. Four or six of those wide. That's one section.
Oh my gosh!
It's enormous. Like basic, and then you have that, and that's one section with tons of stuff in it. We then headed over to the other section, which had even more stuff in it, and had the Shaft booth in it. And the Shaft booth had two. They had one that was just the studio, and one that was Madoka.
Yeah.
Because they were advertising the RPG that's coming out soon for it. So they have the one that has like the weird like the sprites and stuff from the game, and then but on the other side they showed the whole movie of Rebellion. The whole thing. Like people were like, it was a giant crowd of them. So Madoka is still insanely popular there. And but also they had a giant they had the giant Aaron Titan thing statue up, and with other people dressed up as like the characters from it. So I got pictures of that. It was super fun. I was like a kid in the candy store. I was almost running into people because I wasn't paying attention. Like, oh my gosh, this is so great. So Howard was with me, and he was like grabbing my backpack and stuff like that to keep me from hitting the people who were handing out free things. I was just so excited to be there. But after a while, I calmed down after about an hour and a half. And like we still had like an hour left over, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to just go watch the end of Rebellion?" So we just stood around watching Rebellion, and that was super fun, and seeing everyone there and stuff like that. So we also stood in the back, because everyone was shorter than both of us. And it was kind of funny because there's a girl behind us who kind of walked there, and and like she clearly could not see.
Yeah.
Clearly could not see it, and so Howard like stepped up and it's like he's like, yeah, when I stepped over to let her in front of us, she got super excited. It's like, oh, that's nice. And so then after that, like, we were kind of over and done with it because like couldn't really buy any. They had exclusive merchandise. One, it was really expensive, and two, like, we couldn't actually point at it, like at pictures or anything, because you had to know the name of it and what specific item you wanted.
Yeah.
So we didn't buy anything there. We did end up going to the next spot though, which was Nautical Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
If you are planning to buy older figures, sell actual animation cells, or production materials, or if you just want to buy tons of weird secondhand goods or buy weird stuff that people are selling, Nautical Broadway is where you go. It's in Nautico. and it's one of the largest shopping centers in Japan, actually. It's actually just like this very, very long strip. It's really, really long. It's about like 3 or 4 football fields long.
Oh, wow.
And you get to, and so at the very end of it is one of the Mandarake shops, which is like how many levels is it? I think it's like 4 or 5 stories tall, and it's really wide too. It's packed with like secondhand goods shops. That's where I got your figure.
My Konata.
Yeah. I found that there, just kind of in like a bin, and I got a bunch of other things there too. It's also where I got volume 7 of Macross Delta, because I had been looking for it the entire time, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But that was fantastic. I also got a gift from my mom from some woman who was super happy I was buying something from her. And then so that was our last day in Tokyo. We also had and also at this point we also went to Akihabara to find this random restaurant down like several different alleyways. Like, we would never have found this thing.
Yeah.
They didn't know about it. Where we had a chicken dinner.
Nice.
And so, but we had chicken in some very different ways, like raw.
What?
So in Japan, food standards are really, really, really high. They're so high, in fact, that you can eat the meat raw.
Oh, wow.
And that includes poultry. And so we had one of the dishes was basically he just flash fried 2 sides of it and then served it. So the outside was like a very little bit of it was cooked. The rest of it was completely raw. I did not care for that one because it was a little bit too tough. I think it was a chicken breast that it was at. So really the tougher part of the meat.
Yeah.
However, I think he cut up some chicken thighs, and that was way better. But that was also still raw. The rest of it was actually cooked.
Yeah.
The rest of the dishes were different ways of cooking chicken and stuff like that. And it was really, really good, all of it. You just said towards the end of it, like, we kind of like were really full, but they were still bringing out more food, so we had to eat it all. We also had a bad anime contest, where people were like done like different anime stuff and the title and like what it's about. Mine was really bad, so it didn't win at all. But yeah, and then like we also had bottomless drinks as well, and so again more drinking.
Yep.
And yeah, so that was super fun. And then the next day, so after that we had to pack up all of our stuff for stuff that we weren't going to be taking to the second part of the trip, which is the Kansai region. Which I'm going to go through really quickly because there's not a whole lot for me. Certain days weren't too jam packed. But so I just took a duffel bag I brought with me, filled that up with 4 days of clothes.
Yeah.
And then we took that to on the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, and that thing is amazing. Love that thing so much. But also our bags were shipped to the airport, and they were held at the airport for the remainder of our trip. And so we got to Osaka, which is where our hotel was. In Osaka, I would describe the difference between Osaka and Tokyo is the difference between Minneapolis and New York City. But a little bit more dirty, very it felt like I was actually in a different country at this point. Really felt like I was in a different country, in a different place, and where I felt like something bad could happen to me, and that was great. Because Tokyo felt super safe, but Osaka felt more lively. People there's just a lot of like weird smoking rules in Tokyo
Yeah.
that were still there in Osaka, but people didn't follow them.
Yeah.
But and also like one of the ways I would describe Osaka, imagine like those like movies like where they're like different country in Asia. Like,
Yeah.
So they show like the shots like tons of stalls, people cooking like on the like side of the street, tons of people walking. That's Osaka, like to a T. But it's also like lots of random buildings and stuff like right there, and that was a different place. Also there we went to Osaka Castle, which it was actually it's actually rebuilt in the 30s, because it was burned down several different times, like once in the 900, once in like 1500, and then like once like right before the turn of the century it was also burned down. So they rebuilt it, and they put an elevator, so it's more like a museum than anything. There's lots of stuff about the different battles and stuff like that. It's still a super pretty place. Still recommend going. And then after that, where did we go to? What's a place? Everything. Oh, and then actually after that we went to more shopping and stuff like that. We went to I went to Namba, which is where Otaku Road is, which is basically kind of like a smaller version of Akihabara. It's a little bit more dirty. Didn't really care for that. We went into gamers, and that's where I experienced where on the line you don't find the porn finds you. I just I went like past like the empty Blu-ray cases for stuff that for like anime. It took a right, saw the no 18 sign, and then looked down. There was tons of porn.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's great. we also found a Best Buy there for some reason. Oh no! Yeah, I think it was that there. We found a Best Buy where you could literally see the CDs and stuff like that. And then if you looked up, looked right, there was porn
In Best Buy?
Yeah, they're just out there.
In Best Buy?
Yes,
Why can't we have that here?
because we have weird stigmas about pornography.
I don't care. We need that here. I just want to just be walking through Best Buy and just accidentally stumble upon porn.
Yeah, I just looked. I'm like, oh my god, there's porn. And like also like it wasn't Osaka. We were just walking down, and there was a porn shop, like a dedicated porn shop, that had a woman who was topless and a bar over her boobs that said like 4-1. I'm like, oh, so at 4:01 her boobs will be revealed. So yeah, that was like kind of our first day in Osaka. After that we went to a few other places. The next day we actually went to Kyoto. And we went to several different places. We went to the King Kakuju, which is where the Golden Pavilion is. It's also basically it's a pavilion that's painted gold. That's it. It's a very pretty area, but I don't recommend actually going there. Or if you go there, you might be slightly disappointed. Because one, it's kind of expensive to go in there. I saw the prices for it. And two, it's a single path. You are not able to walk around a lot. And it's but it's a very beautiful garden that leads you to the Golden Pavilion, which Ho-Ho sits on top of. Not the Pokemon, the actual bird Ho-Ho. And then it leads you to a tourist trap. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole thing.
That's great.
I don't
That
recommend...
sounds super scammy.
Yes, it is. We felt super scammy. But they did have wishes you could get that were in English.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was super happy.
That still sounds super scammy.
Yeah, it was. But they also had like sake that you could buy specifically at that place as well. The next place we went to, I actually enjoyed a little bit more because we actually got to look around a bit, was the Nanzenji Aqueduct, which looks like, I am assuming it was built after after the Shogunate era in the Meiji time, because they have Roman arches there, and I'm like, that was not built before that time. Like, that is a super new aqueduct that they built there, because that type of architecture didn't exist in Japan before then. So that kind of like put that time period right there. But we actually got to go into the actual like stone gardens, like where the priests are. And stuff like that, and like basically this gigantic mansion, and that was super cool. You know, like how they have like the bamboo like decoration that like plops down. Yeah, they had that.
Oh god.
And it was really funny because it was like me, 25 years old, this like 30-year-old couple, like wait, watch it, punk. Yeah. It's like an anime.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Yeah, it's so like the only thing it's like
Oh,
I
God.
kept on thinking of was the cleaning scene in Bucking Monogatari where they're throwing the books, because it has that clunk sound a bunch of times there. But yeah, so that was super fun. Then we went to the Nizanzaka area, which is an amazing shopping district. It felt like you were transported back in time. It was the type of shopping district I was actually looking forward to. There's tons of tea sets, tons of sake sets, tons of teacups you could buy, tons of random cafes and shops there and it all was like this one giant thing as you walked up a hill that led to a temple. And that was super cool. Like, I recommend going there for buying tea sets.
Okay.
That's where I got my parents some teacups out there. That was incredibly gorgeous. So yeah, and that's also where Kiyomizu Temple is, and that temple's really pretty. It was actually under construction when we were there. A lot of the temples are under construction right now. So that was super, but it's still super cool to see that very, very gorgeous area. And then after that, we stopped at Teramachi, which is where the the ninja cafe, dessert cafe is. It's not what you think. I was assuming people would be running around as ninjas. No.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I was a little disappointed in that, but they had melon soda there, so it made it okay. It's also the first time we found chicken nuggets there too.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. But also one of the girls had gone shopping and at a dojin place.
Oh God.
And she bought like this much BL dojin.
Oh my God, that's how thick would you say that?
About like, I don't know, 3 inches.
Yeah,
of
and those that know
dojins.
dojin is not very.
Are really thin.
They're really thin.
So she bought a lot of them, and one of the ones she bought, for the specific artist, had Kama Sutra cards made for Iron-Blooded Orphans. They are insanely graphic. and so like I looked at them like they look like the official artwork. They're actually really well done.
Oh my God.
They look like the official artwork, and so I'm like, wow, like this is like wow. And so what we were doing is in the middle of this cafe was having one of the guys translate the back of the cards.
Oh my God.
And it was super fun. She's like, cause she would be like, oh God. And it's like, no, translate. So we're all huddled around this table. As she's reading about how
all these different positions,
how these different positions work.
Oh my God!
and it was just super funny because if anyone walked by, they would have seen one of the guys taking a huge cum load right in the ass. I'm like, oh gosh, that was great. That was super, super great. Yeah, and then after that we went to Nijo Castle, which honestly was kind of like we were super tired because we got there at 7:00.
Ooh.
And we had been in Kyoto all day.
Yeah.
And so at this point we went to the castle, but the castle was super pretty. They had a light show there at night. Unfortunately the cherry blossoms weren't blooming, so the cherry trees that were lit up did not look that great.
Aww.
they were ghostly is how it is.
Yeah.
But so we kind of really walked through it because like we were tired and we kind of wanted to go back to the hotel. But right before that, right as you exit, there are people selling sake.
Ooh.
One of the guys like, hey, he kind of like ushered me over. I'm like, okay, whatever. Poured some sake into a cup and I drank. I'm like, okay, that's delicious. He's like, he didn't put he's like sparkling sake, and like he had that like very thick Japanese accent, and so I just took it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's good. I didn't know how to say I wanted one of each. Yeah. So I bought both the bottles. And once he found, it took a little finagling of the language to actually get it down. And then he got super excited. And like it was cheap too. Like it was 1,100 for the sweet sake I bought, which I have behind me, and then it was 900 yen for the sparkling sake, which I gave as a gift from my uncle, and both of them are at 70% alcohol.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like it's a very high proof of sake.
Have you tried the other sake yet?
I haven't opened it. No, I'm saving it for like a special occasion or something. But yeah, maybe.
Let me know when the special occasion is.
I will let you know.
I want to try the sake. I like sake a lot.
Oh, it's super delicious. Bottle. I'll show you the bottle. The bottle's super pretty. But he was super excited, and like once we got to kind of talk a little bit, and you could tell he was definitely directly translating his Japanese, because he called me customer.
Yeah.
Instead of like sir or like other things that you generally call someone, he said customer. Like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from America. And he got super excited that I was taking his sake to America. And so yeah, so like I got both of those bottles. He gave me a really nice bag for them, and also wrapped them for travel. Like he wrapped them in like protective like mesh around the bottles so that they wouldn't break.
Yeah.
And so I was super appreciative of that. And then went back to the hotel, went to someone's room, and we drank.
Yeah.
Probably the like cheapest alcohol I have ever seen in my entire life. We bought an entire like carton of sake for 300 yen.
Jeez.
And we bought we had like $7 whiskey, which we bought a lot of it. We basically more or less like emptied the 7-Eleven of its alcohol. Like it was and we did it several different nights in a row, and that was super fun. But the next place we went to was so we spent we went back to Kyoto, and this was actually my favorite day because we went to Inari Shrine. If you don't know what Inari Shrine is, watch the anime Inari Konkon, because it takes place at Inari Shrine, but it's most known for its torii gates. Like thousands of torii gates are there. Like they're all company made. Bought torii gates. The temple did not pay for them. The actual companies in Japan did, and so on the back of the torii gates is the name of the company.
Okay.
And so it's actually company torii gates, and there's thousands of these things there. Like you're just walking through tunnels of these torii gates. They're actually so densely packed they actually block out the sun.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but they like just enough light gets through that you can see everything, and like makes this like really pretty orange to it. So we get through like the small ones, and then we kind of like get to like a shrine, which if you turn to your right is another tourist trap. And then we went to our left, and then we went more, and we found like a little like output shrine thing. Like it's insanely densely crowded too. But we kind of looked up like, hey, there's a path right there. Let's take it, not knowing where it goes.
Yeah.
We ended up in a bamboo forest.
Oh.
Or at least on one side was a bamboo forest. The other side was kind of this more I want to say deciduous forest. If you know your biomes, it's leaves that trees that have their leaves fall. It's deciduous, and so there's that on the left, and then bamboo forest on our right, and you could kind of tell the difference of it. The bamboo forest is very dead on the bottom, whereas the deciduous forest has a little bit more greens on the bottom as well. And it was just really gorgeous, like walking there, and we ended up hitting like these like dense pockets of shrines, like smaller shrines. And Inari Shrine is known for its fox reliefs, because in the local legends, the wild foxes that live in the area are for they're messengers of the gods, and so there's the fox reliefs have like scrolls in their mouths and stuff like that. It's like messages to bring them. Also, like some of them have keys as well attached in their mouths, and like to bring to the gods and back to the humans. And so the shrines have small torii gates on them, and also fox statues everywhere. Like you just hop into this little thing, and the shrines, just tiny little shrines. Some of them had candles that were lit in them, and but they're like very offshoot, so they weren't as well maintained as the main spot was, but that's kind of what gave it its charm. And also, like, you can just walk over, you just see tons of them. Some of them went up hills, like one of them was kind of like this basin that went downward into it. And then like we're just kind of walking for like 30 minutes. Barely anyone's on this path, and we're just hitting the stuff after stuff. We like seek a house that was probably like where some of the employees lived. And then we got to we ended up at this road, but I kind of like stayed back a bit so I can take some more pictures without people in them. I kind of hit this road. I'm like, where do I go for the mountain? Like, where do I go? And then there was a sign that said 15 minutes to top of mountain that way. And so I'm like, oh, fun! So I just kind of started walking. And then we ended up climbing tons of steps up to actually get to the mountain. And again, super gorgeous view of the surrounding mountain area. And then once we got high enough, we actually just got back to the torii gates. And then we got up, and then we got up to the actual mountaintop shrine. But I was just so tired, I didn't go up the steps.
Yeah.
But one of the guides, Anita, she hands me her camera, and she's like, I need you to take a picture to prove that I got to the top of this fucking mountain. we took some pictures, talked for a bit. Found out that the torii gates we were seeing were actually bought at the top of this mountain.
Okay.
And that you place them on there, and like the bigger ones are like different prices for different sizes. I don't know exactly what they were for though. I didn't ask, one because I was tired, and two, I wanted to get down and eat.
Yeah.
So we then go down the way you were supposed to go up. And so it took like 20 minutes to get down the mountain. Like it's a huge shrine area, a huge temple area, and so we get down and you're seeing the back of these giant torii gates and stuff like that, and taking pictures whenever there was a break in people. And as you got further and further down the mountain, there was less and less. There's more and more people, so it got more and more densely packed as you went down. And then once we got down, I'm gonna go to where the food stalls are. I get 2 in before I buy something. So there's a dango stall. And then there's this thing of meat. I'm like, what is this thing of meat? It was a meat-wrapped onigiri.
Oh.
I got mine with cheese on it. It was only 500 yen.
Oh.
I'm like, and it was super delicious. Super, super good. But and then we just ate there, and we kind of sat down, talked a bit about what we were seeing at the shrine and stuff. The shrine was super cool. I recommend it, going to it. And so that was just super amazing and super, super fun. And the next spot we went to was Umeda, which was a kind of like a shopping area. And we also went around and to get some food and stuff like that. And due to the weather, it started raining, and it was kind of raining on and off throughout the whole time I was there. It started raining, and all of us were super tired.
Yeah.
And we just kind of said to the guy, and we were supposed to go cherry blossom blooming, but the cherry blossoms weren't out. It was cold, windy, wet, and we just kind of said to her I am perfectly fine going back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the hotel, and then we ended up just going to someone's room and drinking after we all got an hour or two of rest.
Yeah.
And someone actually bought a bunch of sake from the shrine, from the castle we were at. And so we were drinking. We got just completely wasted. That was super fun. Also, I think this is the night, because we had enough time, that we went out to a club in Osaka. And so we were just kind of walking by the river, and the river is kind of this this big walking pathway that you can go into. And some people will buy beer or something out of a convenience store and drink right on the river and chat and yell and stuff, because you can be loud in Osaka. The bar was kind of interesting. One, it was 500 yen for whatever drink you wanted. It was 1,000 yen surcharge, which got you a free drink.
Oh.
And it was we were dancing for a bit. We went off and went to someone else, and apparently at the other bar that some other people went to, it was mainly for foreigners. Still 500 yen a drink, and they were there for hours.
Wow.
Yeah. But I actually ended up heading back by myself because I was super drunk and super tired. And then the next day we went to an onsen.
Ooh.
It took us quite a while to get there.
Yeah.
We had to take 4 different train lines in order to get there. One of them was if you've ever seen Nannan Biori, that single station in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Yep.
We had to get off at one of those. And so, but it was it's a super rural town. It's basically this town that's basically for onsen. And we ended up, the one we were supposed to, it turned out that not everyone wanted to go, so he canceled the reservation on it. And just kind of generally you have to make a reservation for the Pacific onsen we were going to go to.
Yeah.
However, he was like, "Oh, we'll be fine because it's almost never busy." It was busy.
Oh, of course.
Of course, the day we get there,
Yep.
it's busy, and so we were all just super fine with it because like we like as long as we get to go to one. And
Yeah.
So basically, we were waiting outside there. Like all of us, like were super patient. Like we had seen a lot, done a lot, and we liked all the guides. And so like, even if they messed up, we were fine with it.
Yeah.
So we went down to a different one. That was also just as old as the one we were going to go to. And old to me is like 100 years. No, we're talking literally almost 1,000, almost over 1,000 years old. Maybe even, yeah, because like I think this one was founded in like 900 AD.
Oh, wow.
And it's like I didn't realize like old to me is like 100 200 years. 1,000 years old is even longer time. It's like oh my gosh, like. But this one had what was called, and because I have a tattoo. Oh, I forgot to mention. This is also we also went to Kobe, and we got Kobe beef.
Oh.
Kobe beef is super expensive. It was 6,500 yen for the meal I got. I got 2 cuts of beef. Well, I got a actual like platter meal. Like, so I got appetizer, soup, and then the meat. The appetizer had like smoked salmon and a bunch of like other greens and stuff like that were super good. And then the next part was a soup. I don't remember what the soup was, but it was still really good. And then after that came our meat meal. Like everyone got meat. They got the meat the exact same time. And I got 2 cuts of Kobe beef. We get like one was a little bit cheaper. We just got a single cut of Kobe beef, and then we cut some other beef. I just got 2 cuts of Kobe beef.
Yeah.
So in order for the waitress to tell me where the meat came from, she used her own body. And this was super adorable, and I really enjoyed it. And you'll understand why. So the first time, she points it to one of the ones and goes, and she's trying to think of the word in English. She goes, leg, and she grabs her leg, and you're like, okay. And then she points to the other one, which is on the right side, and he goes, this one, hip, and she grabs her butt. I'm like, okay, I will now never forget. And I actually ended up crying when it was over. I put the last bit of beef in my mouth, and I'm just savoring it, and I dipped it in a peanut sauce. And I put my fork down and it hits plate. I'm like, no, no, I don't want this. And I just apparently was like, just kind of sitting there, like kind of contemplating life. And one of the guys goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh." It's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, no. I started like tears coming down my face. Oh, it was great. And then we got this dessert, which was coffee, and I think it was like a mini parfait or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was like something sweet, and that was the end of our meal. And it was delicious. I recommend going there.
Yeah.
The place we went was called Propeller Kobe. It was super fun. I loved it there. But yeah, again, back to the onsen. 'Cause I forgot we went to Kobe first.
Said something about tattoos.
Yeah, so I had to cover up my tattoo because I have mine was a little bit bigger than what to cover up was. So while we're sitting in the we get our towel. So we got a towel that we were able to bring back, and it's actually right there. That's what the towel you bring in as a privacy towel.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're completely naked. But so as we're getting undressed, and we also got a locker that we had to take our shoes off before we can even get to reception. Put that into a shoe locker. Take a key with you. You take this key, you put it into the locker where you put all your stuff in, which then you pull. Which they hand you the key for that before you go to your locker, and that is the locker you use. Put everything in.
Yeah.
And then you lock that up and you put the key around your wrist, that way you do not lose it. I was given 3 different band-aids, rather large band-aids to cover up my tattoo. It did not cover it up fully. There was actually a small little speck sticking out. And the guy because I didn't want to put it on myself because I was super afraid of like missing something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's a mole, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a mole." A really black one. And so then when you get into the onsen, you wash your body first. So there's showers or shampoo in there that you can use. So you wash your body, rinse off your entire body before you even hop in. And at this one, there was 2 golden baths and a silver bath.
Mm-hmm.
And the golden baths had 2 different temperatures. There was one that was 44 degrees Celsius and then one that was 40 degrees Celsius. I don't have the conversion in front of me, but the one that was 44 degrees Celsius was like 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh. It literally feels like it's burning your skin off. Oh. I went in there first by accident. Mm-hmm. I was in there for maybe 5 minutes before I'm like, I need to get to the other one. So we hop into the one that was a little bit cooler. And it's great because you're just sitting around talking. Yeah. And you can't and the towel cannot go into the water. So what you do is you take it and you fold it and you put it on your head.
Yeah.
And so you just...
So basically everyone who listens to our podcast knows exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. You should know, because of all the onsen scenes you've seen where people have the towels on their head. The reason being is because they cannot be in the water. You can put them in front of you when you're standing around. Mm-hmm. You can wrap it around you if you want, but they cannot go into the water, so you have to put it on your head. And so like it was super great because like you're just sitting in this natural hot spring bath that you're just kind of sitting in, just soaking in the water, talking, and just this open air thing like. Steam is everywhere, so you get a little lightheaded after a while. So I recommend rinsing yourself out in cold water every once in a while, so you don't like faint. Yeah, I almost fainted. But I was getting tons of stares my way because I have a gigantic scar on my arm. I didn't realize that at the time. I realized it afterwards. Oh, they were staring at my scar. But it's super relaxing. Like you're just hanging around talking if you want to. We were in there for like an hour and a half. Oh. And we're going from like this, like, and like by Golden Bath, and it looked like muddy water. But it's a bunch of minerals. Yeah. And it's super, I highly recommend it. I was so relaxed afterwards. Like, hopping in and out of the different baths, and the one thing I do need to say, like, you know how like people like in anime try to, see if we can go to the girl side. Yep. Because there's a gigantic wall that doesn't go to the ceiling where the other side is the women's bath. However, that wall is like a foot thick of solid rock. You are not getting to that other side. So
literally the girls' bath is on the other side, like pretty much every single thing you see.
Yes.
That's so weird.
It is actually there. And so you could literally, if it was less people there, you could literally yell over it or throw something onto that other side.
Oh my
god. Yeah, but like as soon as you just have to first get over your embarrassment, and once you get over that, it's fine.
Like you're gonna see all your guests, like your same-sex guests, naked.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah,
completely naked.
Yep.
Just get over it. You're all naked.
You're all naked.
Just enjoy it. But no, like there's actually one guy who actually took his towel and twirled it super tight and then wore it as a bandana. It was a Japanese guy. Who was doing that, like, and so one of the guys like, I don't want to do that. So I tried turning it like, yeah. No, it was super fun. And then after that, we went around, like, looked for, like, some food and stuff like that. But I was super tired.
I can imagine being all that walking and then doing something that relaxing.
And then doing something, like, super relaxing. Like, we're, like... And also, like, we're just, like, after a while, like, we're just all just standing around just talking, like, listening to, like, the Evan talk about certain, like, some other, like, the history of, like, the area and stuff like that. Because he's a huge Japan history buff. And we were just... spending some it's like spending some super quality time naked. Like it's a really weird when you describe it that way, but it's like it was super fun, and I would totally do it again. Yeah. And like we got to keep the towel. Like it was actually like on Evan. He did that, and then because he was like he felt super bad about the one we were supposed to go to. Yeah. But I was just happy to be in one. I was actually just. I was super bummed. I was getting super bummed out that I wasn't going to go in it because there's the one thing I wanted to do, and like, it was the one thing out of everything we did that I actively was super excited about. And so I was getting super bummed out, but I was super happy that I got in there. Yeah, but I got really tired afterwards, and I got super cranky. like I was like so I just kind of isolated myself from the group at this point to like listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
We hopped onto the train to get to go further south from where we were to hop. I didn't realize this, but like, to hop onto a Shinkansen,
Mm-hmm.
which I passed out on. I did not realize I was so tired. Tired. Like I basically was like, Amasaki. Okay, that's not Osaka. Close my eyes, open them up. It's Osaka. I'm like, what? I'm like, what happened? And like, I just like turned to the people like, what happened to me? Like, you passed the fuck out. But oh, and so then we went for I want to get it right. We went for takoyaki. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get that right. So takoyaki is battered fried. Well, so basically like these fried dough balls
Mm-hmm.
with octopus in them,
Mm-hmm.
and you make them yourselves in front of you on your table. So you have a grill on you.
Mm-hmm.
The little like look like little like half balls like
Mm-hmm.
things. So what they do is that they put in the octopus into each one of those. They then put in like greens and other vegetables into them. And then they take what looks like pancake batter and they pour it right onto the tray.
Oh.
And then, so what you do is you have a little skewer. So you let it cook
Mm-hmm.
for a bit. And then you take the skewer and you stick it in it. And you try to hook it so that you flick the ball up from the cooked side of the ball, which then pulls in more batter, which then cooks it. And so you make these little balls. And you cook them yourself. And it takes a little while for them to get cooked. But then you just take them up and you put them onto your plate. Pour some sauce on them, and then you eat them.
Ooh.
And they're super good. I highly recommend getting that. That was super, super good. And so that was super fun, super great. The table I was at had all the quiet people, so no one was talking. And then Evan, he was like, okay, so we actually ended up burning a few of them, but they're still super good because they're like, because you bite into it, some of the batter didn't cook all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So you get just warm, hot batter into your mouth along with the octopus and. Oh, it was super great. Highly recommend it. It was so good. Now I'm getting hungry because of that. And that was the last official day of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
We spent some more of the night drinking. And then the next day we had to. That night we packed everything. I ended up. I think I got a figure or something.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up packing the sake I had away. We then in the morning I just kind of grabbed my bag, make sure I had everything. I ended up forgetting an umbrella that I bought there, which wasn't a huge deal. I was more worried about losing some electronics I had brought with. And then we hopped onto, we then took a train to, the main Osaka station.
Mm-hmm.
A subway train to the main Osaka station, hopped on the Shinkansen to head back to Tokyo to get onto Hanada Airport. And on the way, it was warm enough. The conditions were just right that we got to see Mount Fuji.
Oh.
So we actually were able to see it on the very, very, very last day we were in Japan. Which was kind of a cool send-off. Like, hey, here's like the iconic thing of Japan right there. And so like it's one of the, I don't know if it's the tallest mountain, but it's the sacred mountain of Tokyo. So I got a quick picture of it, and I sat back down because I was still super exhausted.
Yeah.
We then hop onto a train that goes straight to Haneda Airport. We go through all I transfer everything that was in my bag into my other two bags that I was going to check onto the plane. Make sure everything was packed well so that my sake didn't break or anything like that. And then we went through security, went through the airport. Some people went off and bought some other things from the duty-free shops that are there. And then as we're waiting, we're all exchanging information. We're all saying goodbyes and stuff like that. Because some people had different flights and whatnot. Then the weirdest thing happens to me. I get called up to a random security search.
Yeah.
But I got him to go on, basically, I was a little nervous, why? they said I caught my last name.
Mm-hmm.
They could not say my first name. Like, it was the first time I could not understand exactly like whose name it was, but I recognized my last name. I'm like, and I started looking around for other people who looked like from Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So my last name is Norwegian. I'm like, huh, that's weird. Like, no one else is gonna. I better go up and see if it's me, because someone else from our group also got selected.
Yeah.
And so basically they just kind of took me behind this little shield thing. They had me empty up all my pockets. The guy asked me, okay, like, do you have they take off my shoes? Do you take off your wristwatch you have? And I just kind of I was wearing a sweater, so I just left on my sleeve, like, no watch.
Yeah.
And they started swapping everything out, and that's when I super calmed down, because then that's when I realized exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
You probably know they're swiping for gunpowder.
Yep. I used to work security, for those that don't know, and I did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I knew exactly at that point what they were doing, so I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any fireworks when I was in Japan or light them off, so nothing should have gunpowder on them. And so they just kind of quickly did it, and I got out, I'm like, what do I do now? It's like, just go on the plane. So I went on the plane, which they ended up, one of the gate people ended up coming on and looking at my ticket because they forgot to scan it.
Oh.
But yeah, and so then it was a 9.5 hour plane ride back.
Mm-hmm.
We got into LA. So we left on a Thursday at 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
We arrived on a Thursday at 9:30 a.m.
Nice.
That was fun. The first thing we got was pizza because we wanted something super greasy.
Yeah.
Because all the food, even if it was like grilled, like fried, it's fried in a different batter, fried in a different type of oil than what we use, so it's actually less greasy.
And actually, even you said like you went to McDonald's in Japan, and it's not what you wanted, but you I got a double cheeseburger. Yeah.
And it was not greasy enough for me to eat. And I'm like, I
feel healthy eating this.
I felt super healthy eating it. And I felt super full after eating it too. And so the one thing was, like, in Japan, the portions are just right for you to feel satisfied and not feel disgustingly full like you do here. And it was just like one of the things, like the first thing I realized when I got back. Also, the waiters don't talk to you. Yeah. Unless you want to, you just hit a button or you raise your hand. Mm-hmm. So having a waiter constantly come up and talk to us was a little weird. And so, like, also I prefer the way they do that in Japan, where you just click a button if you actually want service. But yeah, so like, that's also when I had a 9-hour layover at the LAX airport because our flight wasn't until like 6:30.
Fun.
Oh, I found like the most uncomfortable positions to sleep in, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm tired. I'm sleeping. And then like I got home, so we get hop on the plane, get home. I didn't get home until 1 a.m. Friday morning. I didn't go to bed though until like 2:30 because I'm like, I got my second win because like at the time it would have been 14-hour difference, so 2:00 would be 4 in the afternoon in Japan. So it's like I'm just gonna unpack. So I just took all my clothes out. I took out everything. Just I took out my figures, set up my figures and stuff like that. I got all my clothes out and downstairs so that they could be washed, and then I just hit the pillow and I was out. I woke up at 11 o'clock the next day to my dog barking to get the last two because the last 2 volumes of Across Delta were delivered that day because I ordered them while I was in Japan. So yeah, and that's my Japan trip. Yay! That's the entire thing. Yay! Done. That was the. I felt super sad coming back because I wanted to be there longer. I wanted. Yeah.
We said you're definitely going to do it again. This is like are you going to do the same tour or a different one?
I would like to do a different tour. I would like to go either. I would like to go in the fall actually, because it won't be as rainy. And I would like to go with you and your wife. Yeah. If possible, if it works out that way. Yeah. Where I would say the spring one's great. If you want us to see Anime Japan. If you want to see Anime Japan. Yeah. However, they do a lot of the same things in the fall one as well. Okay. So I would suggest doing the fall. Okay. Because Anime Japan was kind of like okay as like a thing. Like
because that's the tour you went on is like one of the few only ones that has a mixture of both pop culture and the regular culture. So
this one is a mixture of anime culture. And there's also like a BL tour, and there's also a summer. There's also a summer animated tour and a winter one and a fall one, I think. Yeah. I would want to do the fall one next.
Yeah.
And that's just the one I would probably recommend because like
I've
it's-
heard the summers in Japan are like
oh
brutal.
they're like 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And humid. No, no. I want to go in the fall.
Yeah.
If possible, I'd love to go if you were your wife,
Yeah.
because that would be super fun.
Yeah, and then you can show us the rope.
yeah, because then you have someone with you, you know who knows what to do.
Yeah.
But like, I know you were excited this to me, but like trips for Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One I just thought is get your passport early.
Yeah.
We actually had someone who couldn't go on the trip because they didn't have their passport.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And those things. So, if you're planning on going to take any trip, just get it now.
Yeah.
Passports last for 11 years.
Yeah.
Just get it now. Me and my wife are planning on getting our passports this year. We're not planning on going on a trip in like the next 2 or 3 years.
That's actually the amount of time I would be going on my next trip within 2 or 3 years.
Perfect.
And I'm actually starting to save now.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, I mean the only reason we have our con is the first thing we
Yeah.
haven't gone to a convention in
Yeah.
6 years, so that's why. But
yeah.
but we want to save up, so I want to make sure I have enough spending money in there because you brought quite a bit.
So in terms of amount of spending money, I brought about $800 for food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, about like $500, $600 I spent on food.
Yeah.
I then spent about I want to say about $100 to $150 on arcade stuff, and the rest of it was figures.
Yep.
and other gifts for people,
Yeah.
like in my family.
Well, how much did you roughly save up just spending money in general?
About
for all-
$2,000.
Yeah. Would you recommend that about to spend?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like I had quite a bit left over. I had like $2,000. Like I spent about $1,000 in the first week,
Yeah.
and then I just pulled out 300 yen at the very end of it, and that lasted me until Wednesday of the next week, which I pulled out 100 yen just because I ran out of money. Like,
Yeah.
I was completely like I had just coins left, and so like, I had maybe $10
Yeah.
or about 1,000 yen, but no, about like 1,500 yen left in coins. However, I was nervous. Like, what if I need something?
Yeah.
And so I quickly withdraw just about 10,000 yen, and I actually ended up not using it. So what I did is I took it and I put into the tip envelope
Okay.
because that was the only thing I had, and I didn't want to because it cost money to withdraw. I didn't know how much the fee was. It's actually because the
Yeah.
exchange rate was so good. So I just I'm not going to use this
Yeah.
tip. So like have enough money that you feel comfortable spending it, because I did spend quite a bit on Blu-rays and other figures.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff
me,
like that.
I think with me and my wife, we probably buy the same amount of figures, but I don't know about Blu-rays for us.
Blu-rays,
but-
like I wanted to get the Blu-rays because they were cheaper than I thought, and two, because the show will never come to America. And
Yeah.
it's like, it has English subs on
Yeah.
it, so yeah. So
I think 2,000 is for anybody, because I mean with
Yeah.
me, it'd probably be mostly figures for me and my wife,
So,
and
yeah,
all
so-
the kinds of tea stuff like that too.
yeah, so roughly total the trip, I had spent about $6,500, which is a lot of money.
If it, for those, it's a lot of money, but this trip includes a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like
Do you get your money's worth? Would you say you got your money's
You
worth?
get more than your money's worth. Like just like the food alone is worth it. Like I spent very little money on breakfast because I would just get a thing of bread and some apple juice or apples, and that was my breakfast. It's like I wasn't very hungry because like I knew later on I would eat like the perfect amount of food I needed to like have all the energy I needed, and then drinking was super cheap, and so that was fun. But anyways, some tips. I wrote 10 tips down.
10 tips for if you're gonna go to Japan.
Exchange your money at a bank here in America, because I'll give you the best exchange rate. Because the exchange rates at the airport aren't that great. They're good, but not that great. You get a better one at your bank, and that's in ATMs. Use them as a last resort. I actually brought about 900 yen. No, 900,000 yen. Yeah, 900,000. No, that's a lot. I had brought 90,000 yen, roughly, like maybe like 95,000 yen, which is roughly $950 in cash with me as like on it, because you cannot use your card. 'Cause a lot of places do not have it. So I didn't even want to risk it, so I just brought a ton with me right ahead. And then like food will cost meals budget about $40 a day. If you're going for something specific like Kobe beef, that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Traveling in Japan is roughly, for me, it was about $400-$500 for travel, just because we take so many trains and stuff like that, but they set it up for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, bring a lot of cash with you.
Did you bring the full 2,000 or?
No, I just brought half of it.
Okay.
So what I did is I had money that was given to me in yen, and then I exchanged $700 worth of my own money here in America.
Yeah, and you had the rest. I'm guessing then you had in a bank card, and then you exchanged it over there.
So I just took my if you have a chip card, you just go to an ATM in a 7-Eleven, click English, put in your card, click English, and it will the lowest amount you can do is 10,000, and it will give you 10,000 yen bills. So like. So that's all you can do with it. Sometimes some of the hotels will have money exchanges. My hotel in Osaka had a specific one for currency. If you had bills, you could exchange it. Also bring have about $100 in American for the airports in America, because you will need some spending money while you're there. So I recommend having some actually American dollars on hand for that. This is kind of basic travel ones.
Yeah.
But one specifically for Japan, bring a coin purse. I brought 2 different ones. One of them I gave to my roommate to use, and then I used the other one. But I ended up swapping ones once he bought a coin purse, because you have tons of coins, and also use those coins, because they are incredibly helpful for like stuff like convenience stores as well as vending machines. Bring So if you have larger bills, like a 10,000 yen bill, a good place to break them is actually an arcade, because they have machines that can break them.
Oh wow!
Because you put in like a 10,000 yen bill, you can have it break it into 50,000, a 5,000 yen bill, 1,000 yen bills, and then 1,000 yen in coins. So it's a great way to get smaller denominations, and so yeah, that's. This, in terms of money, that's kind of the end of the advice there. Do what you will for how you want to carry that. I just carried it all in my billfold, and I was fine. I didn't have any fear of someone pickpocketing me.
I don't think with a country like Japan,
its crime rate is so low. It's like but in terms of packing, pack light. The hotels will, and I mean they will have washing machines that you can use.
Okay.
They're just on dedicated floors. They will have markers on them for what you can and they have ones where they have a specific markers for where you can buy liquor from vending machines on certain floors. So expect to spend, if you're going to be doing arcades, specifically claw machines, expect to be spending between 1,500 to 3,000 yen to win that item. Don't expect to put in one and get it.
Especially if you're new at it.
Yeah, especially if you're new at it, you're looking at about 5,000 yen.
Yeah.
And it's up to you whether or not that is
worth it
to you. At some points you will be just doing it to fight the machine and win that.
Also, just give it a shot too.
Yeah, just give it a shot. It's actually super fun.
Yeah.
And just kind of look out for what figures you want, because the ones that are in vending machines are ones that are popular in Japan. There's a lot of Fate Apocrypha stuff or stuff there for the Fate Fate Grand Order stuff there as well. That's and also Monogatari is also super popular, and there was a few ReZero ones as well. And those machines, those figures are specific for those machines. And they're generally the ones that get sold here in the States as well. I noticed that.
Yeah.
You can find most of those. You can also find most of those figures in secondhand shops. So yeah. For going out and finding bars and also foods from restaurants, go in groups of 3 or 4. The bars will be able to accommodate that many people. Anything larger, it gets too big. Especially in Tokyo. And also, like if you get into that much large of a group, you have to split up.
Yeah.
If you go to a restaurant, so go smaller groups. Smaller groups equals better, equals more fun.
Yeah.
Karaoke is really expensive. Do not do it. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Unless it's happy hour, it's like 3,200 yen.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's about $30 a person.
Wow.
You do get drinks along with that. However, it just wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah.
The experience was fun, but nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking for figures and stuff like that, there are specific shops in Akihabara that will help you, especially with like older stuff. However, your best bet is secondhand shops for figures if you're looking for older series. The newer figures and stuff like that are actually kind of really expensive, especially if they're dedicated ones that aren't for cranes. Those are the more expensive ones, and those ones are about minimum like $60.
Wow.
Like the ones like you see like on Right Stuff. Those are ones that are specifically not crane game ones, which is why they're so expensive. Because the cheaper ones are crane games.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside, and also if you're looking for single volume Blu-rays, secondhand shops, Traders is a great place. Mandarake is an insanely great place to look for those. Just do your research beforehand about which ones you want and whether or not they have subtitles on them. If you're looking for box sets, those are a little bit harder to find. If you're looking for a brand new, expect to pay the full list price for it. If you're going to animate, I would just suggest importing it through Amazon. Amazon Japan is cheaper, even with shipping is still cheaper. But if you can find it, find like the first like 3 or 4 volumes of a series, they're cheaper, way cheaper than they are buying them brand new. Like Volume 1 of Macross Delta, I found for like 1,000 yen.
Yeah.
But I paid 1,500 yen for mine because I bought it as a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, outside of that, be adventurous, be polite. Like if you're looking for food, they will have the food in pictures or in these plastic plates and display cases right ahead of time. So like one time we were looking for something to eat, and we were just walking around at the different shops and stuff like that, and we ended up at a pancake place.
Yeah.
And so we ended up like seeing the different pancakes. They're like, oh, let's see if they have like, oh, let's go in. It's like we can get like one of those like special ones, but see if they have like. So it was the first time I found actual normal pancakes.
Yeah.
There, and they had maple syrup, and so like yeah, so that was super fun. So yeah, because we just wanted something similar, so we didn't want to go too adventurous at that point because we were just really tired and we just wanted to eat something.
It's just something you're familiar with.
Yeah, something like we were looking for something kind of familiar. You can find that. However, do be adventurous as well as like when you're eating. Noodle shops are super cheap, like 300 yen for like a bowl like noodles.
Would you recommend don't ask what it is?
I recommend don't ask what it is. Just try it.
Yeah. And then later on, you can ask what it is, probably.
Yeah. Take a picture of it or take a picture of the menu, and then you can maybe translate it later. Google Translate's really great for your phone. If you don't know exactly what to ask, you can type it in English as long as it's like a short sentence. It will then translate into Japanese for you, and you can use that to help facilitate conversations and stuff like that. So yeah.
Comfortable shoes.
I forgot to mention I went to the Eorze Cafe in Osaka. Super great, super fun, super expensive. Do it.
Also, you recommended comfortable shoes.
Yeah, comfortable
especially.
shoes. Get comfortable shoes because you're going to be on your feet for like 7 hours a day. Take breaks. Take breaks. Cafes are great places to take breaks in because coffee is cheap. Just order some coffee and you can sit in there for as long as you want. And like pick a bigger cafe because that way you're not taking up a lot of space. Smaller cafes, Mr. Donut's great. Go into Mr. Donut if you can find it. There's one right in Akihabara. Try to hit those duty-free markers if you are shopping for a lot of stuff at one store. Be wary of how much space you're taking up and like out in like shops and stuff like that because the shops in Tokyo are insanely cramped together.
So the whole bar thing goes with shops too.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like you can, but the thing is, the shops are really big. And everything's super crammed together. So you can still go in larger groups for shopping, but just spread out. Don't clump together because you will block off entire aisles by doing that. And just like just be aware that you're somewhere else. People will generally, the students especially, will actually have an understanding of some English. So be careful of what you say.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in terms of swearing, because we were swearing in like family restaurants, because no one truly understands curse words in Japan. But be courteous of like how you speak about the culture and about the places. Also, learn some train etiquette in terms of like transportation, because we had someone who was on the trip who I kind of was like saying, hey, you should not be sitting on the floor of the train. And the person got into my face about it after, like, look, nothing bad happened to me. I'm like, I wanted to fucking slap this person in the face so hard. But yeah, it was and also just be like, don't like to baka gaijin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do it if you're drunk and you're being a goddamn idiot, but don't do it at a shrine.
Yeah.
Speaking from what I observed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Notice how I'm not singling the people out. I saw it. Just have general respect for everything.
Yeah.
Ask for taking pictures of people.
Yeah.
That's a big one. If you're going to be taking pictures of someone, especially if you do go to Anime Japan, you want to take pictures of cosplayers. If there's tons of people taking pictures, you don't have to ask.
Just join them.
However, if there's someone walking around in cosplay, or if you want to take pictures of the girls girls and guys who are handing out free stuff, ask first. It's a general rule.
Yeah.
It's an unwritten rule that you ask to take pictures of people.
And take that to your cons too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that right now, please.
Yeah, take it to American cons as well. Do not just take random pictures of people.
Yeah, and please just don't randomly glomp. I'm just saying this from personal space. Please don't randomly glomp the random Sasuke cosplayer, aka me. As soon as you walk in the door.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Yeah. Just like general etiquette. Learn some like the etiquette may be a little different, so make sure you look that up.
Yeah.
Or ask your guides if you are with a tour group. What other little things I can think of? Do not hand the money. Put the money, unless it's like a stall in the middle of an alleyway. Put the money. If you're at a 7-Eleven, put the money on the table. They will. Some of them, a bunch of them are used to foreigners handing the money, so it's kind of okay. In general, put the money in a tray.
If there is a tray.
If there is a tray. If there isn't a tray, put the money on the counter. And even if you can't speak the language, don't be afraid to buy something. Basically, you can say, "Sinimasen" is a great one to learn. One, because it gets you through places, because it means "excuse me." If you want to get something out of a glass container, just kind of go "Sinimasen," like call over the shopkeeper, and then kind of like, if you know the name of the person you're wanting to do, if you're getting a figure, because then you can point and say the name of the character's name, and then they will be able to open it up and get what you want. So yeah, that's kind of it. Just other shopping things. Don't just look at the first floor. Look at every other floor, because a bunch of them will have different stuff on each floor. Yeah.
Because then you end up spending money on the first floor, and then
because the first floor may not interest you at all.
Yeah.
But like Ami's on the fourth and fifth floor, third and fourth floor. Anime goes tons of floors up. There's like random, like a maid cafe again was on the sixth floor. Like, you just have to be aware that you have to like check out the different floors. Generally, the buildings will have like a sign, like that has like each individual floor what it is. Anime will have them, does have their different floors translated into English, luckily, so you can actually see what there is. They're also color coded for what specifically which gender the floor is catered towards. Yeah. So if you're looking for BL, find a pink line, go there. That's what it is.
All right.
Yeah, and just be aware that you may see some things you will never have seen in public in Japan. We saw spray painted on a door "fuck you, you fucking fuck." I have a picture of it. I have to show you. It was super fantastic. I'm like, whoa, take picture. That was in Osaka. Also, random curse words will be on the wall for it.
Yeah.
English is a great one to look for in Tokyo. Also, like, if you're in a shopping area, kind of really walk around the not just the main street. Venture off into the side streets, because you'll find random shops that you never knew existed.
Yeah.
We found a weird baby clothing store. I have to show you it, like, in a sign that said "Kids are okay." Kids are all right.
Yeah.
Kids are all right. But yeah, Japan's super fun. Just expect the unexpected to happen to you. Be safe of where you're going. Stay out of pachinko powers, because most of them are run by Yakuza. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know if that's completely true, but they're loud and I don't know how they do them.
Yeah.
But yeah, have fun. Like, you're in a different country. Respect the laws there. Just make sure you're not like, just
respect the culture. Especially with
different. Biggest thing. Respect the culture. Learn chopstick etiquette. Do not stick your chopsticks upright. That is a giant fuck you. I'm not kidding about this. It is one of the most insulting things you can do in Japan is stick your chopsticks out of rice straight up, because it looks like burning incense that you use at funerals, as well as home shrines to those of the dead. Don't. Like, it's like a double bird with someone yelling "fuck you" at you that you don't know. So if you have a bowl of ramen, it's okay to have it facing at an angle. Generally, though, you take it and you put it on top so it lays across the bowl. Yeah. That's the etiquette for it. So yeah. Yeah, and also be wary of how much noise you're making. You can be super rowdy. Also, don't tip. Never tip. That's insanely rude.
Never tip. That one I do know. Never tip.
That one is insanely rude. You can learn a passing Japanese, like ichi is ichi ichi and nichi is one of the ichi is one of those. Ichi is two of those. So when you're ordering off of food items and stuff like that, some restaurants will tell you if they don't want foreigners. Restaurants will tell you if they have English menus, which are hilariously translated. But yeah, like, just kind of pay attention to also escalators. Stand on the left, walk on the right. Unless you're in the Kansai region, it's stand on the right, walk on the left. Which was tough to remember. Got really confusing.
If you're not sure, just wait for someone to walk up it.
If you're not sure, someone will walk up it.
Just see random dumb one just standing in front of it. Just waiting for someone to come up.
Don't worry about getting lost in train systems. You aren't the only one. Natives are also confused by it as well, especially if they're not from Tokyo.
Yeah.
However, once you make a single mistake like I did, trying to get back from being in Akihabara by myself, I accidentally got on the wrong train.
Oh no!
So I had to hop, and I didn't realize for 2 stations, and so I found out going back the same way, back to Akihabara. Found out which one I needed to go through, and then I figured out, like, okay, the blue line, and the blue line took me straight back to my hotel. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all this wonderful information.
Yeah,
and it makes me excited, and my wife is actually thoroughly enjoying our specials.
That's good.
Yeah, because my wife is a really good critic of our show.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from her, and I know both of us have.
Yeah.
And I asked, I was a little worried just because of how the episodes have been for our thing, and I keep hitting this dang cup.
Yeah.
But she's really enjoying it. She's really enjoying learning about all the stuff you got through. I know it makes her more excited for the day we eventually do this trip.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that.
No
And
problem.
This entire thing has just been a fun experience just to hear all this and learn about all this fun stuff.
I hope that other people really enjoyed it.
Yes.
I know that after I uploaded the first part, it was downloaded insanely quickly.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. It hit basically, I haven't checked the numbers or something, but it might be our most downloaded episode.
That's fine. That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this format. It's a little bit more free talking about one subject.
Yeah.
So we should do it more often.
Yeah, well, eventually we'll find something you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You can listen to us two huge nerds talk for an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, so so next week is back to our normal program. There'll be if you've noticed with the last episode, it's very minimally edited.
Yeah.
The reason being is because I didn't want to spend too much time on it. Also because I woke up super late because I was still super jet lagged. And so
yeah, I don't think these episodes will be much edited.
Yeah, like
but
I know there's so sorry about like if there's like tons of pauses like where I'm like looking for something. It's because I'm like
this is a really freeform section.
Yeah,
our specials are very freeform.
You're very freeform. So like also I just kind of wanted to get over raw. Yay! Yeah, that's my kind of thing in it.
Yeah, our specials will be a lot more raw than more discussion stuff, so there'll be a lot more awkward silences. Unlike our other show, which is more professional.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it is. We finally found our groove, so that's
nice. Yeah. And so we'll have I know I'll have a review. Will you?
I told you I'm doing a review of something new that's airing.
Oh yeah,
just because it's a new season, so I figured
so you're doing some like preview stuff.
I'm doing a short preview of one show. I might do that for another show too for the following week.
I should probably do that actually.
Yeah, but
because I've been watching a lot of new stuff.
Yeah. So you can find us on Facebook at Tiger Anime 2.0. You can also find us at Twitter at Tiger Anime 2_ or 2.0 works as well. You can email us at tigeranime2.0@gmail.com. You can find us on the iTunes as well as the Google Play for those of you that don't use iTunes, because I know I listen to a lot of podcasts and I'm thinking about switching to Android, and a lot of them are not on Google Play, which isn't that hard to get on.
No.
I mean, we got on it.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Stitcher as well as the Libsyn app. And I can't remember if I'm forgetting anything.
The email.
I did say the email.
Okay.
I did.
So send us some emails. I personally would like some suggestions for specials of what you guys want us to talk about, such as like our favorite shows or like series discussions.
If you have any series discussions, if you want us to talk about some weird subject that deals with the anime industry that Jay would probably, I know Jay would love to probably.
Wow, I would love to talk about.
If there's any like weird thing going on that we find interesting, we'd find interesting.
But yeah, because I want to get our audience more involved because we haven't received any emails.
I haven't checked it in a while, so I don't know if we have any emails.
I checked this morning.
Okay. Please email us. We're very lonely.
We're lonely people.
We're very lonely people.
See us begging?
Yeah,
please.
We're very lonely.
But yeah, thanks for sticking through this
for 2 weeks. This is the only thing that happened that it's weekly back to back.
Yeah,
it's probably just specials. Super easy.
Super easy to do and super easy to edit.
Yeah, and plus we don't have to watch an entire show in a week. So, once again, this is Tiger Anime, always sinking your teeth into anime and manga, and we hope you enjoy the show. My name is Arash.
I am Jay. I am Jay.
This time it was not my fault.
I fucked up twice, so
yeah.
At least I know exactly which section it is.
Yep. So here's us signing off. We're always professional.
Yep. Bye.